Hi! In this session, I'll be showing you how to set up a framework using NovaCore's Create Your Own Framework Builder. To get started, go to Tools Config and select Framework Setup, or click on this arrow here. Here you can see all of your frameworks. When you select a framework group, you can view and edit its name, description and logo. This preview shows how it will appear in the Framework Selection drop-down. You can also activate and deactivate your framework by ticking and unticking this box. Let's create a new framework. First, we have to create a new framework group. Select this new framework grouping button. Name your group, set the logo, and type in a description if you want to. Now that we have a group, let's start building a framework. Make sure your framework group is selected. Then click New Framework. Enter a name for your framework here. To start building your framework, select New Item. I'm going to mark this item as a section header. I can give it a title, subtitle and description, but for now I'll just give it a title. I'll call it Standards. Under Standards, I'm going to create a sub-item. I'll call it Standard 1. To create the sub-item, you can either click New Sub-item or use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl-Insert. Fill in the details for the standard. In this explanatory notes section, you can include notes that give users more detail about the standards. This is particularly helpful if your framework comes with notes that you would like to include. You can also format the color, font size, and font style of your item under this Item Formatting tab. Here's an example of a framework that has been fully formatted with color coding. You don't have to use this feature, but it is a great option if you want to make your framework more user-friendly. Alright, so now I'll insert another standard below this one. I can either click New Item or press Insert on my keyboard. This item has some sub-items to it. To create a sub-item, I'll use Ctrl-Insert. Hopefully you are starting to get a feel for how you set up a framework structure. If you tick this option here, the previous level's description will be shown with this description in previews and reports. For example, the clause of this sub-item is dependent on the clause of its parent item. Including both clauses makes the description clearer for users. I'll show you exactly how this works in a moment, but first I want to show you a few more things in here. If you want to reposition a standard, you can drag and drop it like this. Dragging it straight up or down will enable you to drop it under another standard, repositioning it to a new level. If you want to change the standard's position without changing the level, drag it slightly to the left until the yellow arrow changes to a blue one. Drop it in its new position. You can delete items by selecting the item and then selecting Delete. These boxes to the right of the standard show whether the documents are required to be linked to the standard or not. I'll untick the headings because they are just headings, and so don't need any documents to be linked to them. These play and stop buttons are for activating and deactivating frameworks. The green play button means the framework is activated and the stop button means it's been deactivated. A deactivated framework will not be listed in the framework selection menu. Okay, now that we've set up our framework, I'll show you what it looks like in the traffic light system. First, we mustn't forget to save our work. Make sure your framework is selected in the framework selection menu, and then select View Framework. Here you can see the framework we just created. If we select an item, we can see our description here. Because we enabled Include Previous Level's Item Description for these items, you can see how the description of this level is included in this level, making the description easier to understand. Under this tab, you can see your explanatory notes. Because we haven't linked any documents to this standard yet, this warning symbol is showing. But notice that you don't see it next to the headings. That's because we did not require that documents be linked to those headings. Thank you for watching this NovaCore training video. If you need more information, check out our manual at help.novacore.com.au or our FAQ page at faq.novacore.com.au.